Okay, so it's time to go over the books I read in November and then talk about the 2 books I plan to read for the first week of December. Hello everyone, it's me, Shelby from Shelby's Crafty Books and Games. Here you can find bookish videos with either a crafting or a gaming twist, and also regular book videos like tags or book hauls, or like this, which is a book monthly wrap-up. And I'm also going to be doing my weekly reading update because I like to do those every Monday, and it's a Monday, so why not squish them together? So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, first we'll be doing the November wrap-up portion of the video. And for November, I finished 5 books. 2 were books I physically read, and then 2 were audiobooks I listened to. And the last book was partially physically read and then partially listened to because I jumped back and forth between reading and audiobooking it. And the first book I physically read was The Kingdom by Jess Robinberg, and this follows a girl named Anne, I think that's how you pronounce it. And she is like this physically and genetically enhanced person called a Fantastia. And they are like 7 girls who are basically the princesses of this huge, super immersive theme park. And Anne's starting to see that things are not quite what she was told they're supposed to be, and she starts seeing things like kind of acting like they're not supposed to, and she gets help with that from a young worker who works at the park named Owen, and they kind of both fall in love as they do this. And also around the same time, there are 2 of Anne's sisters who start acting strangely. And I really liked it because it was actually kind of like this mixed media kind of thing. Like, for example, in chapter chapter 2, it's the court case documents. Then other parts of the book is like regular reading. And then also you get an interview that Anne has with like this person who supposedly like helped genetically enhance her and create her. So yeah, you're getting all of these different types of things. And I did really like it for the most part. I really like this idea of a big, super immersive theme park. And what brought it down for me was 2 things. One was there was a plot twist at the end. I won't get into it, but I felt like it kind of downgraded the story a bit, kind of not made it as good in my opinion. And then 2, there is stuff at the very end that you can tell is setting up for a sequel, and I'm not quite sure the way it's going it will be a very good sequel, and I feel like it just should be 1 book. But because of all that, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I physically read was Be Prepared, A Twisted Tale, and it is What If Nala Was Compelled to Team Up with Scar for a Secret Reason. And this follows Nala about 6 months after the wildebeest stampede in the movie Lion King, where her and everyone believed that Simba passed away during that. But there are rumors, supposedly, of other animals throughout like the Africa seeing a lion that looks like Simba, and Nala decides to finally go out and see if she can find Simba. And then, after it's discovered she has gone off to do this, Scar joins her to, make sure his plan keeps going, but he tells her, oh, I want to find and see if Simba's alive too! So yeah, that's what the book is about. And I did think it was an okay book. The premise about Scar and Nala teaming up doesn't happen until toward halfway, a little after halfway in the book. Was not a big fan of that. I kind of like when these twists happen toward the beginning of the book, so like we get most of the rest of the story to focus on how these twists change the book story, the original movie plotline. And because it was halfway through, I felt like it wasn't that strong of a twist. But with it halfway through, it felt like it didn't really change the movie for that more than it just like Nala deciding to go and find Simba way before she's an adult lioness instead. And I guess that could have been the twist instead. It makes more sense given what goes on in the book. All around, it is kind of just like a meh journey that Nala goes on, and halfway through, Scar joins her. And the way Simba, toward the end, finds out that Scar is the one who, set up the wildebeest stampede and got rid of him and his dad. I feel like in the movie that was way stronger, and in this, it was just kind of kind of thing going on, and kind of quick. And then out of that, they're just like, oh, let's go back home now. So I feel like it's a very weak attempt to twist the version of Lion King. And I feel like Ferrara Ronchin, who wrote this, I feel like her other book that she wrote for the Twisted Tale series, Fate Be Changed, which is a Disney Pixar Brave retelling, I feel like that one was the stronger of the two of the books that I've read by her. She does have another one, which is based off Princess and the Frog. Haven't read that one yet, but I've heard it's probably one of the best of the Twisted Tale series, so maybe I'll jump into that sometime soon. But for Be Prepared's case, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Next, let's go on to the 2 audiobooks I listened to. And the first one was Charlotte's Web. And I don't have a copy, like a physical copy of this, which is crazy to me because I really like this children's book. It's about a little pig named Wilbur who befriends a spider named Charlotte. And they find out that he is going to be turned into ham and bacon for Christmas, and he wants to live. So Charlotte puts a plan into motion that will save Wilbur. And this is just a really great, beautiful story. I just love it. I can really just I kind of just feel the vibe, feel it like I'm there when I'm listening to this or reading this. And it's just because it's very descriptive in my opinion. And I do get teary-eyed toward the end on what happens to Charlotte. You probably should already know, but I will not go into spoilers because just in case you never read it, go read it. But I decided just to listen to it one day, and it's really a short book, so it took about maybe 2 hours to get through it, to listen to it, and I really adore this book. It's really beautiful. I give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Then the next audiobook I listened to was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This is because they have released a full cast recording of Harry Potter books, all 7 of them, and I wanted to try it out. And if you don't know what Harry Potter is, it's about a boy named Harry, and he discovers he is a wizard on his 11th birthday. But I felt like the audiobook is kind of more or less a mixed bag. Talked about this in a previous currently reading. It's like some parts of it are far away to indicate the characters aren't close to the main characters when something is happening, and it is very hard to hear that, along with the fact that there are some sound effects and stuff that also drown out the characters talking, and because of that, it something I didn't want to continue. If I am ever going to continue audiobooking the Harry Potter books, just go with the really super old audiobooks that came out forever ago, because I feel like they're just a superior version. But all in all, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, really good, and I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Then there was the book that I partially read physically and then listened to on audiobook, and that is Alchemised. And part of the reason it was because it is a 1,000-page book, and the other reason was because I was doing a vlog of it, because it's a new book and I wanted to vlog my experience reading it. And I thought if I did both physical and audiobook, I could make it go a bit faster, so I didn't have this really long, drawn-out vlog. But anyway, this book follows a girl named Helena during a huge war, and she's on the losing side, and she is picked to be like this person who gets the information from a spy on the other side. And it basically follows these two characters' journey as the war is going on, and of course them falling in love with each other, and also what happens in the aftermath of the war, because Helena's side does lose, and so you get to see the aftermath of all that as well. And I did like how this book is set up, because there's 3 parts, and the first part is after the war, and we see Helena is taken, and they believe she has some repressed memories that could help them with what is left of her side. They feel like if they're still around, so they send her to get her mind like looked at and stuff like that. And then part 2 is a huge flashback. It's most of the book, and it's a huge flashback, and it's like a 5-year flashback. But anyway, and we get to see what it was like during the war on Helena's side and all that, and her correspondence with the spy. And then after that, we see it flash forward for the 3rd part, and everything gets wrapped up. For this book, I really liked the lore. I really liked the magic system, and I really liked some of the very few fight scenes that are in here, but they're really good in my opinion. What I did not like is the romance. I really disliked it. I just couldn't get past the fact that at one point, the male main character physically attacks Helena, and I just couldn't get past that. I didn't want them to be together, but they got together sometime after that, and that just kept popping in my head when I read it, and it just made me upset. So that did knock a star off this for me. If it hadn't had that, I probably would have given this like a 5 out of 5 perfect score, because it is that good in my opinion, just not the romance. So like I said, I did do a vlog where I read it, and then I also did a review of it that you can also watch if you are interested in putting up with my voice as I talk more about Alchemised. But like I said, I gave Alchemised 4 out of 5 stars. This is super heavy, by the way. And I have a messed up hand at the moment, so not really a good thing to be holding this. So now that I've talked about the books that I read in November and talked about their ratings, let's talk about the first week of December and what I hope to read / finish. So I did DNF one book that I was trying to read, and then I got through most of another book I was reading. And I DNF'd Stars and Smoke. I just wasn't clicking. I read like the first 5 chapters, and it seemed okay, but like I said, not clicking. Maybe I can pick it up another time and try again. It did seem like cool characters, but I just don't feel myself wanting to continue. So I DNF'd this, did not finish, for those who do not know what DNF is. So instead, for my physical read for the first week of December, I am planning to read Ruby Red. This is a book that follows a girl who finds out that she can time travel. And I thought that sounded pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing like how someone from the modern day just goes back in time, and I want to see if there's like any crazy funny stuff that goes on during that, like, you know, messing things up and people looking weird at you because you're acting weird, stuff like that kind of stuff. So I am looking forward to this. I want to read more stuff like time travel anyway, so hopefully I can get a good portion of this read, and hopefully I will be wanting to finish it. We'll see. And then the last book is a continuation of a book I started last week. It's an audiobook for me. I've been listening to it, and that is Dorothy Must Die. And this follows a girl named Amy who gets sucked up in a tornado and lands in Oz, but it's not the Oz we remembered from like the original movie or the books or anything. It is in shambles. Why? Because Dorothy now rules, and she is evil. So Amy is taken in by what's left of the witches, the Wicked Witches, and they give her the task of killing Dorothy, for they feel that is the only way to get Oz back to the way it was. But I am about 70, maybe 80%, depends on how you feel, done with this book. Really enjoying it. I like seeing how the author turns all these characters that were once good into evil versions of themselves, and seeing them interact in all with the main character Amy. And I'm liking the second half of this book where she has to go undercover to find an opportunity to take out Dorothy, and it's really good. And then I hopefully can continue the series because there's 3 more books after this. So those are the 2 books that I plan to read in the first week of December. And these were the books that I read in November. Add on Charlotte's Web right here. Pretend I have a Charlotte's Web book. So anyway, I would love to know if you had any good books you finished in November, and if you're planning to read anything in December, like maybe Christmassy related, because I would love to get some Christmas book recommendations. I'll see you guys next time, hopefully with a book tag. I'm leaning toward a Christmassy book tag, but we'll see. But I guess you guys will find out on Wednesday. So yeah. Anyway, see you later.